BNI to refund more than 6 million Ghana cedis belonging to the National Service Secretariat that it says it's holding onto as evidence to prosecute some officials.
It is important that we establish actually how much, because as I sit here as Executive Director of National Service, I don't know how much has been collected. All I know is that if not for this Auditor General report, I don't even know how much has been collected. Wow.
Also tonight, Accra High Court rules that Electoral Commission chairperson and commissioners could be held liable for failure to implement law allowing Ghanaians abroad to vote. We have details as the court directs the EC's lawyers to file written submissions justifying why the commissioners should not be sanctioned by May 17.
And we'll hear a survivor who is struggling to come to terms with the death of his wife and a missing son after the pickup they were traveling in plunged into a drain on the Tema motorway on Sunday.
My charge to one survivor woman was saying that she got hold of him, wanted to, draw him, but because of the speed.
We have more on that.
And in business, GRA admits possible loss of revenue at the port due to reduction in import duties, but calls it a blessing. We'll tell you why in 30 minutes.
You want to stay with us because we'll bring you also that fascinating, intriguing commentary in the Champions League latest matches tonight. You want to stay with us for that at 6:45. And join us with your views and comments. 0244 340437 is a WhatsApp line. My name is Evans Mensah.
I am MF Paul. And we start off from Parliament. Two key issues coming up from the Public Accounts Committee, but let's start with this one because the PAC is asking the Bureau of National Investigations to refund more than 6 million Ghana cedis belonging to the National Service Secretariat that it says it is using as evidence to prosecute some officials. The money is accrued from recoveries made following investigations into the payment of monies to ghost names on the scheme. Now, more than 3 years after the BNI took possession of the SAMS, it is yet to give it back to the National Service Secretariat. Director of the National Service Scheme, Yusuf Mustafa, was in Parliament to respond to questions on the issue. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us live with more. So, Joseph, the Auditor General flagged this issue in its report. What concerns were raised?
And so this is the 2016 report of the Auditor General, and it makes the point that there was the transfer of some sums from regional and district accounts of various national service offices to BNI accounts, and this is to the tune of 6.521 million Ghana cedis. Now, the explanation is that it's expected that at the end of every year, when there is overpayment when it comes to the various districts and regional offices, the monies are returned to the government chest. Now, the Auditor General says when they visited the 10 regions of the country and collected up to 136 bank statements from various MMDAs, this is actually what they found. The 6 million that was unavailable and hadn't been returned into the government chest. So they sought clarification on that, and they said that they were able to lay hands on some documents, and from the bank statements that they looked at, as in the Auditor General looked at, they found out that 6.521 million Ghana cedis was transferred to the BNI director accounts without authority from the management of the National Service Scheme. And when they sought clarity on that, they were informed by the regional and district directors that there was a situation where some of the regional and district directors back in 2014, they held on to various accounts. Some auditing was done in October 2014. They found out that there was an amount to that team that had to be remitted in terms of overpayment of allowances, because some of those activities were found to be improper. And so the situation was that these monies, after they found out that it had been paid improperly and it was recovered from the various district and regional offices, should have actually gone back to the NSS office itself and subsequently to government chest. But
did they even establish who paid it?
This had to do with the various district and regional directors when it comes to the National Service Scheme. And MP for Ningo Pram Pram, Samuel George, led the charge and made the demand that there should be a situation where, as soon as possible, the amount should be handed back to the NSS. Because one of the explanations that the BNI was given was that you recall that scandal in 2014 that involved ghost names in connection with some of those payments and all. It was true that some of these amounts were actually recovered and should have gone back to government chest, but the BNI says it's holding on to it as part of investigation. Samuel George interacting with the National Service Director, Yusuf Mustafa.
I do not see how the 6.5 million cedis sitting in the BNI's account and not being sent back to chest is evident. I mean, once there's a bank statement that shows that those recoveries have been made from the various districts into the specialized account, that should be sufficient for any legal prosecution. The physical cash should not be kept in the BNI's account against what our financial administration regulations are. But I would leave the final judgment to Chairman on this matter.
What is the status report on the case? Are you still pursuing the case in court?
Yes, the case is still pending in court, and the judgment has not been made yet.
And then the BNI officials, some of them are also there.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
When they are going, do they carry the 6.5 million?
Mr. Chairman, no, I have not seen BNI carrying money to the court.
So why should they say that they are using as exhibit?
Mr. Chairman, what we have to even add is that the 6 million reported might even be higher, because this is reported at that time when the exercise was still ongoing.
Yeah.
The collection was ongoing. So it is important that we establish actually how much, because as I sit here as Executive Director of National Service, I don't know how much has been collected. All I know is that if not for this Auditor General report, I don't even know how much has been collected.
Wow.
So that was the encounter between the Public Accounts Committee and, of course, the National Service Scheme. But there was another key issue, Evans.
You remember in 2007, Dr. Bawumia spoke about the vice presidential residence. You remember that story?
I do.
This is the early days of the new administration, and there was a big story about this multi-million-dollar facility that is being built for the vice president, started by the previous administration. The vice president then, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, had complained that the money was just simply too much, costing the state some $13.9 million.
Can you believe in Ghana we're building a house to house our vice president? And this house is supposed to cost $13.9 million. $13.9 million. I mean, what sort of a house is this supposed to be? I mean, is the gate made of gold, the pavement of gold, the blocks of gold? A house in Ghana for $13.9 million. I couldn't believe it. How many boreholes could we have done? But yes, this, of course, I'm 100% sure it didn't go through competitive tender. Otherwise, we would have known about it. It was most likely sole sourced. And there it stands, uncompleted at the moment.
So that is the vice president speaking in 2017. After that, really nothing really happened. I think the only time we followed up again, we had gone there, we did, a survey of the place, a state of the project. We got him at the 100-day event that we did here at Multimedia. He again spoke about it, that he will take a decision. Well, it appears now there is some pressure for his office, the vice president's office, to take a firm decision on whether or not they're going to proceed with the project or simply let it rot. And the state-owned architectural and engineering services limited, which is really under the Works and Housing Ministry, they appear before the committee today. The managing director there, Robert Abugri, said the project remains stalled and they simply want the vice president's office to take a decision on what they want to do with it so they can proceed with it, because they started it.
But at point of time, questions were asked about the, let me take the scope and then the costs. There was therefore a temporary halt in execution. From government side, it was like the contractor was owed monies, and questions were raised in connection with the project in its totality. As at now, it still remains suspended and no work is going on now. We're probably waiting for government to take a decision as to the final use that the project is going to be put to, and is any other directives that may be coming forth that will take on board.
Have you been paid for the services that you have rendered?
No, sir. AESR has not been paid. We did make a submission and were to negotiate the fee level with national security, but by virtue of the agency, the project was going on pending the conclusion of our fee charges and therefore payment. So as we sit today, we have not been paid anything.
So, would you like to advise government to take decision on this matter?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think that should be a good way forward because it's a state asset now, even though it's not completed.
Yeah.
It needs to be completed and put to use.
Yeah.
Now, the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Kluchavegi, said it is worrying that the structure has been wasting away for about 2 years now. Now, he tells parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo that the committee will push for a decision on the completion or otherwise of the project.
Yes, we knew there were a number of issues that came up about the amount that was quoted as being the cost of the project. But the project has been started. Some costs have been incurred. Should we say that it should be there forever and deteriorate, or want to take a decision? If the fee or the cost of the project should be reviewed by the current government, they should review it, let the project be completed, let it put to use. Should we be doing politics at the disadvantage, at the expense of the Ghanaians taxpayer? No. Why government don't go into negotiation with the contractor, come up with a new cost, then allow the project to be completed. If government think that cost is too much and government will be able to bring the cost down, government should go ahead and do it and bring the cost down. Then the project can be put to use by the government.
Is this something you are ready to push, here in Parliament?
That will urge Parliament to approve or do a recommendation for government to take up the matter and ensure that the project is completed once and for all.
Okay, so we can now speak to the chairman of the Works and Housing Committee in Parliament, Nana Marco. Mr. Marco, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
No problem.
I wonder if your committee has had any briefing on this project. This is costing the taxpayer some $13.9 million. We've expended money on it already, and currently it's 2 years. It's been left to standing there, gathering dust and rotting away. What briefing do you have on it?
Let me ask you, can you say it's costing the taxpayer how much?
The figure that were put out by the Vice President himself last 2 years, it was $13.9 million. Is that the case?
That's for the Vice President housing, or just for
the Vice President's house?
That one, if you have not been briefed on that one, because when the houses is not under the Ministry of Works and Housing, it makes it a little bit difficult for us to dig into that. But since you have brought this on the fold, probably the first thing I would do is I would check on it if it was the client was Minister of Works and Housing.
Okay, good. So the talk before Parliament Public Accounts Committee today was that we need a firm decision. Is this something that your committee itself will be interested in what we're going to do with this project?
Definitely. It's for our own benefits because it's an asset for the government. We have already started it. We cannot demolish it for put another thing there. So once it has been tagged as a Vice President house, we could use for something else if nobody wants to live there. But at least we have to find money to complete the project.
Yes. There's another housing project. This time the Saglame housing project, which was started by the John Mahama administration, which hasn't been completed yet. There are demands by your colleagues on the minority side that government puts in money to finish it. What do you know about this?
This is something that has been going on for quite some time now. I think even on a budget, debate on the floor, it came up, and I think later on it has kind of died down. So recently, we decided to take upon ourselves to go to the site. So we went to the site, I think, a week ago. So to ascertain, the facts, what is on the ground there, and then what needs to be done. by the state itself. So when he went then, because this loan was contracted, through credit, Swiss Bank, for 200 million for 5,000 houses, buildings. But the first phase that we went to look at it, it's about 1,241 that's been completed, not fully, but 645 of them has, completed, but left for the fittings, and then, where we could excrete the waste, that's where it's left. But most of the, plumbing work has been done and fitted. So it's a few work to be done. It's almost about maybe 90% complete on that, somehow 645 of them.
So the assurance you've been given is that definitely money should be found to put in this to complete it.
That was not nice because what we found out is about 99% of the amount has already been paid for the 200 million that we took in a facility that we took. So if you're going to look for around, and then you are supposed to bill about 5,000, so it's very difficult. Why do you already have completed those 645, and then you can't find any money to complete this house? Even though it's a taxpayer money that we have invested in. I think they have, get the documentation. They have forwarded it to AG's office for them for advice. So I think that's where we have to, ask the minister firmly when the advice will come. If not, you have to take other means to make sure the advice is given. And if you, we tend to take another loan, and then the corporate, if anything is a criminal thing that will be filed against them, you go with it, but still we have to get the money to go in and complete the project.
And that's Nana Marco, he's chairman of the Wexen Housing Committee in Parliament. Still to come.
Accra High Court rules that the Electoral Commission chairperson and commissioners could be held liable for failure to implement law allowing Ghanaians abroad to vote. We have details as the court directs the EC's lawyers to file written submissions justifying why the commissioners should not be sanctioned by May 17. We have details after the short break.
It's time to experience something different, unexpected, and definitely beyond banking. It's a new era at GCB Bank, Ghana's most welcoming bank, where we offer you a world of financial security, flexibility, and convenience. We swiftly serve you with over 180 branches and 300 ATMs, and provide e-banking solutions that make it possible for you to bank anywhere, anytime. When you need a personal loan, sooner is better than later, so we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is always memorable. At GCB, your opportunities are limitless and we keep you smiling at all times. We're bigger and better, ready to take you beyond banking. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of Texas, 10 years of loyalty. Your success, our passion. Oh yeah, your success, our passion.
Your success, our passion.
This is what you've been waiting for. The internet experience you've been dreaming about. Welcome to Vodafone's Gigabit Net. Music, pictures, and large documents downloaded in seconds. Lessons from your favorite online masterclass streamed right into your bedroom. With Vodafone's Gigabit Net, it's not downloading, it's downloaded. It's not sending, it's sent. It's not buffering, it's streaming. Switch to Vodafone and get the real 4G experience on Ghana's only Gigabit network. Get 100% bonus for every daily, weekly, or monthly bundle purchase via star 700 hash. The future is exciting. Ready?
Thank you, folks. On my A list today, show some love for Contractor EB. So, Contractor, what do you think about the country's changing skyline?
Oh, send them down there, Shurima. Across skyline, they change you, papa.
Wow. Contractor, don't you get worried when you hear of buildings collapsing?
I'm out for an one on Tassam. It is the likability of using low quality product.
Please explain why.
Yeah, cement is no quality on the gasem. Village of Fefu. It was built with gasem. Says the gasem is your construction. Osi ho pumping. Sha N1, Kejite Market, Kotokana Kumasi Airport, Cape Coast Stadium, Atrabu Gas Project in Gasebo. Messi, what the quality? You know what is quality?
Gasem, 3 cement grades, greater value. Gasem, the nation builder.
On News 90 on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Evans Mensah.
I am Emefapo.
A few of your messages coming through. Peter McCarthy Hill says, what's wrong with the newly sworn in Bono regional minister? You claim you have a PhD, so why not prove it? You have it and you are there struggling with the minority. Kofi Sedu says the hypocrisy in this country is nauseating. If using $13.9 million on a building was a waste, according to the vice president, then leaving the building to rot is tantamount to causing financial loss. That's Kofi Sedu's point of view there. You can share your own with us. We'll share it with the rest of the world.
Now, lawyers for the Electoral Commission have been handed up until May 17 to justify why the commissioners should not be sanctioned for failure to ensure that modalities governing how Ghanaians abroad participate in national elections are approved by Parliament. Justice Anthony Yeboah, who was presiding over an Accra High Court in December 2017, handed the EC 12 months to have a constitutional instrument spelling out how voting is conducted and approved. The Commission is currently engaged in various stakeholders as an attempt to prepare this, but the individuals who secured this decision want the commissioners convicted of contempt with sanctions imposed. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has more.
5 Ghanaians residents abroad dragged the EC to court, asking that the commission be compelled to implement the law passed in 2006. They allege the EC had discriminated against them in failing to allow them participate in all national elections since Parliament passed the law. Justice Anthony Yeboah granted this request when he ordered that the EC ensures that relevant regulations spelling out the process in place within 12 months. The individuals who took the matter to court remained optimistic.
Outside of everything else, we are Ghanaian nationals. We were born here. And as per the Constitution that we all live by, if you were born here, then you have a right, as per the 1992 Constitution Act 284, that if you're of sound mind, 18 years or above, it's the EC's responsibility, and I'm paraphrasing, to provide for you the circumstances and the situations to have you vote.
More than 12 months on, the Commission is yet to ensure that the regulations are in place. It is currently engaging in a series of consultations as it prepares to push for approval. But the plaintiffs want the court to convict and sanction the EC chairperson and fellow commissioners for failure to obey the court order. The EC's lawyers, however, raised an objection that the commissioners could not be held personally liable. Justice Ellen Amwa, in her ruling on Wednesday, said the commissioners ought to justify why they should not be sanctioned for failure to obey the court's order. They have been handed up until May 17 to justify why sanctions should not be imposed on them.
So that's about the Electoral Commission as it relates to the courts. There is also some other political controversy brewing on the wake of the EC's press conference yesterday regarding the conduct of some of its officers in the referendum last year in December. The NDC is objecting to the outcome as announced by the Electoral Commission yesterday. The Electoral Commission had denied any wrongdoing on the part of its officials who conducted the referendum for the creation of the 6 new regions, insisting that persons captured in the viral video in which some officials or individuals seen in to be in EC clothing were engaged in electoral malpractices, including tampering of ballots. But the NDC believes the EC's attempt to purge its officials is warped. General Secretary of the party, John Sidon Kitia, has been speaking to the media. It was addressed at the press conference today.
Let me tell you that those responses created opportunity for more questions than answers. They actually were not answers. They were provocations for more questions. They didn't explain anything as far as we are concerned. And for a moment, I thought that the commission considered everybody in Ghana to be a class 1 people who could not read through the things they were talking about. When you are talking about identity of your personnel, and the only thing you are saying was that the vest. Was there any law that prevented the officials during their work to remove the vest? So which criminal will go committing a crime with identification marks on his body? So if the person knows he's going to steal, why would he put on things with, that will identify him when he's caught? So they are talking to mature citizens of Ghana who are not spectators. We are citizens, and we are discerning. Again, you are questioning the authenticity of the videos that were circulating on the social media. On one vein, you are not admitting that you have the means to determine whether something is proper or fake. And yet you draw conclusion that they are fake before you send them to the police. So what answer are you expecting from the police? You have conclusively said that all those things were fake.
So that's the General Secretary of the NDC. Now, they addressed other issues as well. The party also wants the Electoral Commission to render a public apology for what the party calls false representation of what transpired in last month's IPAC meeting. This is not the first time the NDC is raising this issue. The party argues that the communique issued by the Commission after the IPAC meeting did not reflect the accuracy of the deliberations that went on at that IPAC meeting. We can listen to Asiedun Ketia once again.
Delegates will be getting to the hall around 9 o'clock. And the various...
The voters' role goes to the heart of any election. We will need to be told what is essentially wrong with the current register and what changes are needed to right the wrongs in the register. The current register has been 8 years since it was prepared. Has it lasted long enough? Are there problems that have been identified that, if not corrected, will compromise future elections? What is the problem? Because you cannot offer a solution to a problem that has not been identified. So let us know the problem. Let us identify that problem. Then we can begin to engage about what solution will be suitable. But you cannot provide answers before you go looking for the questions. As a result of the available facts, we demand an immediate reconsideration of the suggested mode of the limited registration from district level to the electoral area level so as to allow for mass participation of all eligible voters. We also demand, as a matter of necessity, an immediate public apology in respect of the outright misrepresentation by the Commission on the purported decisions of IPAC on the compilation of a new voters register. In the absence of that, we can only come to the conclusion that there is a grand scheme by the Commission to deliberately disenfranchise disqualified and qualified and potential voters. For whatever purpose, we don't know at this stage.
Well, Johnson Asiedun Ketia is the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress.
And you know that the EC had earlier responded to the NDC when they raised this issue earlier about this matter not coming up at the IPAC meeting. They say that there will be more IPAC meetings that the NDC will get the opportunity for them to discuss these issues. But still to come here on Newsnight, we'll hear a survivor story who is struggling to come to terms with the death of his wife and a missing son after the pickup they were traveling in plunged into a drain on the Tema motorway.
My chat to one survivor woman was saying that she got hold of him, wanted to, draw him, but because of the speed.
And also later, live commentary on the UEFA Champions League. But it's time now for business. Charles Saite has the latest.
All right, MFA. So coming up in business, GRA admits to likely loss of revenue at the ports due to the reduction in duties, but calls it a blessing. We'll tell you why. And the Ghana Stock Exchange to soon make facts behind the figures series compulsory for all listed companies. Business on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to a new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials. And First National Bank. We are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank. How can we help you?
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no. Why did you leave Abeko alone on the bed?
But I had to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba. By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. We're there for you, everywhere you go.
We give you nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Let us help you bank with the right bank. At First National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a digital partner that actually understands your business. Enjoy massive value with our various banking solutions. Get a business check account, a day-to-day transactional account for all businesses from all sectors of the economy. Access our online banking enterprise and bank your way 24/7. Invest with our short or long-term options that enable immediate access to funds. Optimize your cash flow, raise capital, and acquire assets with ease with our lending solutions. Trade with speed, consistency, and innovation with our global payments and forex solutions. With so much value up for grabs, there is no reason not to bank with First National Bank. First National Bank. How can we help you?
Honey, I need to get some.
But I don't have cash on me. Let me get some fuel quickly and let's go.
And how are you going to get the fuel? I thought you said you didn't have cash on you. What is this one?
My Puma card.
All it takes is a card. The Puma card allows you to buy fuel cash-free from all Puma energy filling stations. You can use your Puma card with any Visa points of sale and ATM across the country. The Puma card also works on mobile money. You get amazing discounts when you fill up with your Puma card. So register for free and get your Puma card instantly at any Puma filling station.
And you only got one for yourself, eh?
Yeah, would I have had that piece of mind?
Oh, thank you, honey.
And where are you going?
I'm getting something from the shop real quick. I need to test the card.
Puma card. Cash-free convenience.
Imagine living in a world of comfort and luxury. In a well-planned and gated community with access to an ultra-modern sports complex which has Olympic-sized swimming pools, football, basketball, athletics, and gym facilities. I'm talking about Eden Heights, the new destination for luxury in Ghana. Eden Heights is developed with the highest grade of finishing in our penthouses and our 1 to 4 bedroom apartments, and is located close to the beach resorts along the Atlantic Ocean, about 30 minutes drive from the airport and 5 minutes walk from the West Hills Mall. Eden Heights is the ideal location for luxury. Visit us at edenheights.com.gh or email to sales@edenheights.com.gh or call us on 050-153-1444 or 050-153-1445 for more information. Eden Heights, welcome home.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And you're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kofi Nti, has described the current reduction in import duties at the port as a blessing which will yield the necessary results. The Commissioner, after admitting likely revenue losses as a result of the 50 and 30% benchmark value reduction in import duties, hinted that the situation will help improve business flow at the ports, which will be a source of revenue for the state. He spoke with Joy Business at Abosokain after visiting some spare part dealers. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia announced the new port directives as a... We're so sorry for the wrong insert, but let's move on to other stories now, where listed companies on the Ghana Stock Exchange will soon be mandated to take part in the exchange's Fact Behind the Figures series. The platform provided by the GSC allows the companies to meet brokers, the media and institutional representatives on their performance over a period. Managing Director of the GSC, Kofi Yamwa, explained that making it mandatory will mean it is very important as it will keep shareholders abreast with development in companies they are investing in.
Issuers that are on the market come talk to the financial press, analysts about what is behind the figures or stories that is not easily portrayed by the financials. So far, the program is optional, but going forward into the future, we consider making it obligatory for all issuers that are on the market to do it. The idea is this, and for us at the exchange, the purpose is to assure shareholders that this is an institution that they are rightly invested in.
And that was Managing Director of the GCE, Kofi Yamwa. Now, stakeholders at the maiden edition of the UNDP Waste Recovery Platform have expressed their commitment to prioritizing awareness creation in their quest to manage plastic waste in the country. According to one of such advocates, no amount of funds or policy initiatives is enough to address the canker. Joyce Ahiadome is a partner at the Ghana Recycling Initiatives by Private Enterprise, Plastic Waste Segregation, Collection and Awareness Initiative.
The issue of fund is critical. Okay. Now, nobody thinks of where microfinance people raise money from for business. And we borrow from the banks. We cash deposit. When you go for overdraft, you deposit cash. Now, how much do you get the cash? You are depositing. And then you are lending against that one. Then the customer takes and now tells you that I am paying principal. That is critical. So the funding bit becomes very important. So if this reform, as has been said, 700 million, 950 million, those monies come. As a practitioner, I don't know how it's going to be like. But if it's coming to support the institution, that will be perfect. That will be the ideal thing. I think we need to clap for the government and praise them forever if they are able to do that, because for the very first time.
Joyce Ahiadome, partner at the Ghana Recycling Initiative by Private Enterprise GRAP, ending this edition of Business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, Charles. Now, a survivor of the Ajay Kojo flood incident, Emmanuel Sa, says until his 3-year-old son who got missing in the floodwater is found, he cannot get closure. His wife, who was part of some mourners who were traveling from Tema, drowned together with a soldier couple and others on the Tema motorway. Emmanuel, who was also in the pickup bed, managed to swim to safety, but now has to deal with the trauma of losing his wife and his only son still missing. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Family and friends gathered to console Emmanuel. The hymns, meant to console him, rather made him emotional. It was at this point that he could not hold back his emotions.
Since then, yes. Me, myself...
Emmanuel narrates that they were returning from a funeral in Tema when it started raining heavily. Unfortunately, the vehicle they were traveling in hit a pothole, forcing the car to veer off the road into a drain. Emmanuel said he heard terrifying screams from his wife and child, but he could not save them.
Woman was saying that she got hold of him, wanted to, draw him, but because of the speed, he couldn't. So there was a split. It splitted. No, I didn't see my wife again. We heard a cry at the edge, so we went there to help, but unfortunately, we couldn't find where the cry was coming from. But we tried our best, but came out of the water traumatized. So there was nothing we could do because it was difficult then going into the water and help someone.
The technician said his 3-year-old child was his only source of inspiration. Emmanuel added that his wife's body has been found at Sakumono, but to date, his son is yet to be located.
My son is my everything. My son, he is the only child I have. He's the only child I have, and he is a glitter of inspiration. He's my happiness. He's everything to me. I mean, I can't. It's too much. It's too much to bear this.
According to Emmanuel, there were 17 people in the pickup. 3 of them were in the cabin. 14 were in the bed of the vehicle. Emmanuel says the 3 people in the cabin were made up of the soldier couple and the driver. His wife, who was in the bed of the vehicle, drowned. 2 children are still missing. One of them is a 3-year-old son of Emmanuel.
On the motorway, I visited the spot where the incident happened. I observed the uneven patch of the road, which made some vehicles sadly lose control when they get there. One of the mourners at Emmanuel's house is angry and wants city authorities to fix the drainage system and the road. Until then, that spot will continue to be accident prone.
And interestingly, that patch has still not been fixed. There's still no rail there to avoid other vehicles.
Kojo Yankson was there and spoke to the MC for the area, who said there's no problem if they don't fix that railing, because on an ordinary day, nothing happens. And that's the position of the MC for that particular area.
But Maxwell Agbegba tells that story on Prime shortly. But the family of the military couple that died in the floods over the weekend are also asking that something should be done about the situation. That's the only way they can immortalize the soldiers.
Well, government has responded well, I must admit. But all what I would say is that it's the usual thing. They shouldn't delay in fixing these roads. They should try and fix it. Look at what happened at Medina. If the people are not agitated and then demonstrated, I mean, they won't fix the food bridges. So that's all we are saying. The money is there. They should fix them. Yeah. So that's all I can say. Others don't fall victim.
What have you been told about what exactly led to the accident?
This flood system has been occurring year in and year, every year. It occurs every year. So the best way to deal with this is to solve it. The problem can be solved. I don't know why they are. I don't know even what to say. I'm short of words.
What kind of people were they? Beginning with your sister?
Oh, for my sister, if there's anybody in this world who all of us think will go to heaven, she's the one. And the husband. Oh, the husband is a nice gentleman, a very nice gentleman, a wonderful gentleman.
So you heard the brother of one of the deceased, that's Kingsley Ayiram Kin Kwaji, of course, the deputy, the defense minister, I beg your pardon, Dominic Niti, will also visit the family and assure them that government is committed to fixing the annual flood problem.
Well, that's it for News Night tonight. Shortly, my colleagues are going to take over and bring you the very latest from the Champions League. Commentary is going to also follow. You want to stay tuned with the game coming up tonight. MFR Pau, what's your problem?
Okay, so Liverpool and Porto are playing. But you did I hear you say Manchester United will still win the Champions League? Did you say that?
I didn't
They're
say
still
that.
winning the Champions
What
League.
I know is that Liverpool versus Porto are playing tonight, and Manchester City are playing Spurs, and that is an interesting game actually to watch because in the first leg, Spurs beat them 1-0, and they're returning now to the Etihad. So that'll be interesting. Liverpool has a 2-0 win lead into the second leg, and so that is also a very interesting one to watch. But fantastic commentary coming up. George Adju Jr. and the team will be taking over shortly.
There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am MF Up.